We're all good to go. Let's start with understanding a little bit what is GitLab and where it comes from, actually. So, uh, maybe some of you remember 17 years ago, I was still a young developer. And you remember when you wanted to do something, you needed a phone on one side to give a phone call. You need an alarm on your desk or next to your bed, a camera to take pictures, and so on and so forth. So many different services from many different places. Maybe some of these brands are familiar to you, the Walkman, the good old Walkman, Internet Explorer for the older ones, Nokia, Palm, and all these things, BlackBerry. I remember this one. So all these very specific application, these specific tools, sometimes we were here really to help you do a very specific task. Okay, so we used to have all of these things, and we used to do some context switching to go from the phone to the calendar to the email and so on and so forth. Okay. And then at one stage, you probably remember that one because it set up the new era of computer sciences, I would say. This smartphone disrupted the multiple industries. You remember when we finally got everything into a single place. You need something, you have everything from your single smartphone. No need to have many different devices. All right, everything in one place, and it's so easier. So, yeah, the user experience is so great that everyone has a smartphone now. All right, and so you got me. You know where I'm driving you right now. This is the same for the software development industry. You have right now, you may have, or you used to have, for some of you, a very huge set of different tools for very different roles. Jira for your planning management, Sneak for your security topics, SonarQube for your quality, and so on and so forth. This might be these tools or many others. You know, there are hundreds of them, or at tens of them, say, on the market. So every time you want to do something, you need to switch to context, switch to another application, and remember, oh, how do I use Jira? Where can I find my issues? And oh, how does it link to my source code and so on and so forth? All right, so you have all of these things, and here is where GitLab comes in the game. GitLab is the description, is the new iPhone, I would say, for your project management and your software development lifecycle. It brings everything together in a single place where everyone can collaborate and where you will find everything that you need to do software development, right? And to deliver faster and more securely to your customers. Okay, so let's understand what is the problem with adding all of these applications. If you have all these tools, the one that you see on the right, all right, it might be any tool. We don't care about the names actually here. If you need to have interactions from one to the other one, you may need to connect your Datadog to JFrog to have some flow of usage from JFrog flowing to Datadog and so on and so forth. So you need to connect your APIs, and these APIs may change over time, or you need to use a plugin or an extension for one tool or the other one. And at one stage, the plugin, the extension, the API will not be backward compatible. We all know this happens. This happens all the time. And the more tool you have, the harder it is to connect all of them. And the more tools you have, the more time you need to spend to understand how these tools work. Everyone will work in their own silo because I am a developer, so I just need Bamboo and Bitbucket maybe to work, and my security team just needs Sneak and something else to work. And so we don't really collaborate. This is not real DevOps. We are supposed to break the wall between dev and ops. How can we break a wall if everyone is siloed in their own application? So the more tools you have, the harder it is to collaborate, and the more expensive it is to maintain all these tools. And at one stage, I have seen, and you have probably seen that also, you have all tools just because it's too expensive, too hard to maintain them, to upgrade them to the newest version. So you have security threats just because you have too many tools and it's too complicated to maintain them all. And this is what GitLab is doing for you. We are doing that for you, and you just need to maintain your GitLab, or we can even maintain GitLab for yourself. Okay, and so in GitLab, you have everything in one place, and this is what we are seeing here. What you are seeing here is our workflow, basically the workflow that we use at GitLab to develop GitLab. Okay, so on the left side, you have everything regarding project management, the epics, milestone, issues. We'll work with them today, so I won't deep dive on them. And then you assign an issue to an ops, a security, or a developer. The same word, the same tool, the same things. Everyone collaborate and understand using the same language. So you assign an issue to someone, say, and then you create a merge request. You develop in your own branch. This is the bump that you see here. All right, this bump here. You collaborate, you push code, you run your test, your security scanners. This is the shift left security. We are bringing security as close to the developer as we can, exactly like we all did with quality. For years, we have been using SonarQubes or competitors of SonarQube to bring quality next to the developer, so the developer knows where is the technical depth, knows if the code they are delivering is high quality or low quality, and where they should enhance what they have done. All right, and we are doing the exact same thing with GitLab, bringing security next to our developers. A customer of mine is saying, is using this word, and I really love that. He's not talking about threats. He's not talking about issues in the security area. He's talking about security bugs. Exactly like you have bugs, standard bugs, I would say, for your applications, and your application doesn't deliver what it is supposed to do. It doesn't match its expectation if it has threats. So say it's just a bug. Security is just a bug. And as a developer, it's your responsibility to fix that bug. And so we are bringing with GitLab all the tools, all the information, everything you need as a developer to fix that bug, that security bug. All right. And then once you have fixed everything, once your code is clean and you have the test, you have the security, everything is clean, we can collaborate, review the code. So a peer review comes by and check the code if it does really what it's supposed to do, if it matches the quality standards of your company, and so on and so forth. We've got approval rules, these gates where you say, I don't want a high security threat going through. So if there is a high security threat detected by my scanners, the merge request will be blocked, all right, unless someone approves it, someone who has the approval rights. And so you say same thing stands for example, for the licenses. I don't want any GNU GPL license because this is prohibited in my company. I can set up a rule and block that. So I'm sure I will never have this in my company. All right. And once everything is approved, I can merge and then go through all the deployment process still in GitLab. So my ops will start working here. This is the work of my ops, but they work in the same place of everybody. So everybody sees what's happening. They have full control. We have a full separation of duty and separation of concerns. So only the ops are allowed to do that, but we still are transparent and we still bring visibility on what's happening. Okay, so now that you have a clear view of what is GitLab and what GitLab does for you, let's deep dive a little bit on this left side. I talked about the project management. Okay, what is project management and what are we going to do today? We are going to create a group in GitLab, all right, and the initial issues that are going to set up the work for our team. We are project manager today, and our team needs to be fed basically with issues so they know what they have to do. All right, so let's set up all of these things so everyone can work in an environment that we understand. How are we going to split things? There are three ways to split and organize things and the work in GitLab. The first one is the organization in groups and projects. Okay, what is a group? See it as a folder. All right, a group is a folder. So in a folder, you can have other folders. In GitLab, a group can have other groups. And you can also have files, and your file is your project. All right. And in your project, you have everything related to your application. Okay, and how are we going to split our organization, our company, in different groups and subgroups? Unfortunately, there is no silver bullet. There is no one size fits all, and I can't tell you this is the absolute perfect way to split and create your groups. It must match your needs. You can have your groups, your top level groups, say, for each of your business units. This is what is written here. But it can also be per country, for example. Okay, maybe you want to split and say, okay, I've got my French team, I've got my German team, my Spanish team, and so on and so forth. All of these things really depends on how your company is organized. And then you will just nest other groups to match your organization. And maybe you have a group friends and then a subgroup for Java project, another one for JavaScript, the third one for Rust, and so on and so forth. This really is up to you. Or maybe it's the other way. You have a top level group, which is Java, and then you are splitting France, Germany, and so on and so forth. So that is depending on your organization, and your group and subgroup organization must match your company's organization, right? To make it easier for you. And so you understand where you are when you're in GitLab, because it matches what you are used to work with in your company already. Okay. And then your projects are basically what you're going to deliver. Once again, it really depends on your habits and what you love to do. Some people love to have microservices split in different projects. And so you say, okay, I've got one project for every single application that I'm going to deliver, even if it's a microservices. Some other love monorepo. In the previous company, we didn't set a rule. We didn't set a golden rule here. And we say, okay, each subgroup can define the project the way they want it. Okay, no problem on that. And I've got some subgroups, some teams who wanted to have one project for every single application that they are about to deliver and that they want to deliver. And another team wanted to have only one project, a monorepo project. We support both in GitLab. So it really is up to you. And you should discuss that with your team and see what is the way they want to work. There is no golden path here. And if you go to Google and look for the best way to define a project and multiple services, you won't find a perfect solution. There is no perfect solution which matches all needs. It's really in your hands. Okay, so we have groups, subgroups, and projects. And no, we are also defining things to do. All right, and things to do are defined in epics, sub-epics, issues, and tasks. So what it is, an epic is a long-term view, basically. All right, I wanna improve my security. I wanna integrate with third-party tools. I wanna do things and other things. There is you don't need to have a deadline for this. You don't need to. It's just a view, a long-term view. All right. Then, of course, your epic might be broken down in sub-epics. Well, I want to improve security. Okay, my sub-epic is I want to integrate with a single sign-on tool. I want to integrate with a DAST system. I want to integrate with and so on and so forth. So these are my different sub-epics. And then at the epic or sub-epic level, I can create issues. I can attach issues to them. They might be functional or non-functional. They can correlate to a security threat, and they can correlate to a change request from my ops perspective. They can be non-functional issues and just things my project manager, my product owner want to do. They can be acceptance tests. We have a single vocabulary, so everyone can really collaborate here. Okay, when you do something, you are addressing an issue. All right, whoever you are, you might be from security ops or dev field, you are addressing an issue and you are assigned an issue. This is what you have to do. All right, and if you are familiar with the agile planning and the Scrum methodology, for example, an issue might be a user story. Okay. And then you can even break down that, but this is more in the end of the developer rather than the project owner or project developer or your project manager or project owner. You can break down in tasks. So I need to implement a security system X. Okay, what are my different tasks? First, I will add the library. Then I need to test that. And third, I need to implement the UI. Okay, this might be my 3 tasks. Okay, but this is more a breakdown. Usually in the hands of the developers, if you are doing Scrum, maybe they want to define this task during the poker planning. This might be the organization, and when you are going to create that is really up to you. But GitLab is supporting all of this. Okay. And then finally, we are all at one stage or another. We all need to track things and set dates. All right. Or maybe you are purely agile and you say, okay, I will deliver what I will deliver. Right. But you still have some sprints which have a cadence. And so how does GitLab handle all of these things? We have the ability to create roadmaps to display the epics at a group level. So this is very similar to a Gantt chart, all right? And so you can see your groups, subgroups, and your roadmap, so and a timeline associated to it. You can also define milestones. We at GitLab use milestones as our for our versions. So we have a milestone for every version we are delivering. We have delivered GitLab 17.4 2 weeks ago. We are going to deliver GitLab 17.5 in 2 weeks. And so each of them are a milestone. So every issue is associated to a milestone. And so we know exactly when we are going to deliver things. Okay. And finally, you've got the iterations. The iterations are, they could be your sprints, for example, in Scrum, or your PI if you're doing your safe, so your project increments. They basically define the pace of your iterations. It is a period of 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever. And you can set up GitLab and say, okay, I want you to create my next 6 iterations, 2 weeks each, and it will set automatically for you the dates and all the things. Okay, and then you associate your issue to a given iteration if you want. Okay, there is no hard control. We really leave it to you to set up the workflow you want and use whatever is relevant to you. All right, so let's put that on a graph, I would say. From left to right, we are organizing, defining, tracking things using groups, subgroups, and projects in the organization, defining things with epic, issues, and sub-epics, and then tracking with milestone roadmaps and iterations. Okay. Are we all good on that? Please feel free to ask questions. Nina and Daniela are here to help me understand answering all your questions. So please really feel free to go to the Q&A and ask any questions, and I will stop to answer all the questions if it's needed, okay, or clarify things. Okay, so if we are still good to go, let's see a few more vocabulary. So we say we have projects to define your application. It might be a microservice, it can be a monorepo, whatever. In your GitLab project, you will have merge request. Some competitors use the pull request term. You may have heard about it. In GitLab, this is named a merge request because we are not pulling, but we are merging. We require to merge from a branch to another branch. This is what is requested in a merge request. Basically, we also have CI/CD pipelines. This is the workflow that I showed you when you have started with your assignments. Then you are starting a new pipeline and you are building, testing, securing, whatever, doing any steps that are needed for you to deliver your application. Okay, we use to attach the merge request, the CI/CD pipeline, sorry, to the merge request. This is not an hard request. This is not an hard requirement, but this makes the flow smoother. We've got the code reviews. I already talked about this when your peer is coming to review your code, and everything is set up in GitLab to help you having efficient reviews so one can contribute without being interrupted and so on and so forth. I've been working recently with a customer here in Toulouse. Yeah, I'm from France and I'm from Toulouse for the ones who know the geography in France. And my customer said me, well, we are doing code reviews, but every time a developer needs a review, it just it just asks his neighbor and say, okay, please, could you review my code? So the other developer needs to stop what they are doing. They need to go and check on the screen with the other developer. This is highly inefficient. You are stopping what you are thinking. You are just stopping your flow, switching to another thing, and switching back to your initial concept. This is highly inefficient. We all know context switching is inefficient. This is inefficient for your computer, for your CPU when they are context switching from one task to the other. And this is inefficient for your brain as well. So we want to prevent that. And with GitLab, we have given you all the tools, everything that you need to run good code reviews without interrupting one another. And then we've got the approvals. I also talked about this. The approvals are here to, well, set the stamps that your delivery is going to match your requirement, the requirement from your company. Your company said, I don't want new GPL licenses. I don't want threats going to production. I don't want this and that. And so you set these approvals, and then you said who can approve and who can bypass the rules, because maybe your CTO is responsible for your delivery and say, okay, I agree that we have a major threat, but it's more important to deliver and fix that threat later rather than not deliver and have our system broken down. Okay, so you have the ability to bypass, but you must set who is able and who is allowed to do that. Okay, and I think this is the last slide before we switch to the workshop. The labels. This is a very, very important topic here at GitLab. It really helps you to set up and classify your issues or your epics. Or even your merge request. We can set labels roughly everywhere in GitLab. So we have two different set of labels. The default one, I would say, the one that you see here, critical, bugs, confirm, discussions. These are labels that you wanna set. You can even prioritize them. So you set them to organize your work, and maybe you wanna say, okay, this is my P1, P2, P3 safety levels, and so on and so forth. Or I just wanna know what's happening. Basically, at GitLab, we use the GitLab tier, might be free, premium, or ultimate, to define where a specific feature will be delivered. And a feature might be delivered to all of the tiers or only a set of them. And same stands for the targets. It might be SaaS, dedicated, or self-managed. And for all of these delivery methods, we can have a label corresponding to them, so we know if this is a feature specific for a given tier. Okay, so this is up to you to define the labels that are matching your organization. And then we've got the scope labels, the one that you see here. So you see a scope here. The scope is workflow, and then the different stages of your scope here: planning and review. Okay, the scopes label are here to define a workflow, basically. All right, or actually, it's not necessarily a workflow, but to define something that is exclusive. So you can't have two values of the same scope associated to an issue, a merge request or whatever. So if I've got a merge request or an issue which is assigned the workflow planning, and I want to switch the workflow review, it will automatically remove the workflow planning for me. Okay, only one at any given moment. Okay, everything is clear so far regarding the labels and all the things that we have just seen. I don't see any questions, so let's move forward and start with the workshop instruction. Yeah, it should be number 1. The box is not at the right place here, but let's start with number 1, please. So, organization track and define organize track and define work. This is the instruction that we are going to follow right now. What I would suggest you is to have, like me, to split your screen and the instruction on one side. As I said, I will have the instruction on the left side in my screen, and I will run through the instruction on the right side. To give you some time, I want you to go through the instruction before I start and I go through them with you. I'll give you a couple of minutes to go through the instruction. So please open this issue, this specific issue. Just as a reminder, when you are in your session, in your group here, so this is the group that you have populated with the reading invitation code. Go to Plan, Issues, and click on the issue number 1, Organize, Track, and Define Work. Okay, and then just read through the instructions, and I will shut up while you are working, and I'll come back in a couple of minutes to drive you through all the instructions. All right, and please feel free to ask any questions while you are working if you are lost. Yeah, so Adam and Jill, beware, the path that Adam shared in the webinar chat is related to your own environment. We all have different sessions. Okay, let me show you that. When I have read in my invitation group, it has created for me this session. Well, this session is shared for all of us, but it has created a group dedicated to me. So this group has its own URL, and this is private to everyone, every single one of you. So let's go back, gitlabdemo.com. At one stage, you were here, you needed to read in the invitation code. You have copied that invitation code 894 EFEDB. You have provisioned your training environment using your username. And from there, you were here on this screen and clicked on My Group. Okay, you can do that anytime. You can go back to gitlabdemo.com, reading invitation code, and so on and so forth. Once you click on My Group, you will land here. Okay, and once you are here, just click on Plan, Issues. Okay, and the left menu, Plan Issues, and from there you've got 4 issues, and we are going on exercise 1. As you can see, these are 4 different labels. Exercise 1, exercise 2, 3, and 4. These are labels associated to my issues. What we want to do is to click on the first issue here, number 1, Organize, Track, and Define Work. Okay, the URL of this issue is private for every one of you, and you should not be able to access the other one's issue. All right, you have the same instructions, but everyone has its own set of instructions. Okay.
Olivier, there's an interesting question about reorganizing groups. We have someone asking, since organizations constantly change, what can we do to adapt our groups to new structures or new ways of managing?
That's, as you said, that's an interesting question. I would say exactly like for your JED, for example, for your document management, or yeah, whatever the names of your different business units. I don't have a silver bullet, and GitLab doesn't have a silver bullet. How can we automatically match your reorg? That's hard. You can always rename a group. You can always rename a project as well, or change its path. There is no problem for that. This is done through the settings of your group or your project, which are available here in the left menu. So you can do that, but it's also it has a strong impact on your developers because they have your their project on their laptops, for example, and the project is associated to a path. So if you change the path every now and then, they need to update their Git URL locally to work. Also, it might be confusing. You used to have access to your group, I used to have access to my group using this URL, and tomorrow it's changing. It's no longer session 894 and so on. It's XYZ, the workshop. All right. Yes, it matches my organization, but it changes all my shortcuts that I've got in my browser. It changes many things for me as a developer, PM, whoever, as the user, I would say. Uh, so yeah, it might be confusing. I don't, I can't advise you something. I would say do not change things too often for your users because you will lose them. But if you want to stick to your organization and your organization is changing every now and then, yeah, I don't know what is the best solution. Might be dependent on who are your users and how many users you have, how familiar they are with your organization, all these things. I don't think there is a silver bullet here.
Olivier, I'm going to also to send the link to some of the recommended models that we can provide from our documentation for group structure.
Yeah, thank you very much, Ina. Also, one thing, there are global direction that I'm sharing here, and maybe it's worth using our professional services who are dedicated to this, not only to this, but they are dedicated to this and they are expert in this area who can understand your organization and advise you. Okay, based on your organization, based on how often your organization is changing, maybe here is the best solution to organize your work in GitLab. And so, yeah, they might advise you to say, okay, you used to have your name changing and so on and so forth. Maybe use a number or whatever, a specific something to help you have a stable organization in GitLab. So yeah, that might be worth using our professional services as well to help you really match your needs. Okay, and I'm sharing the slides as well in the chat if you wanna read all this, the deck available for you. Okay, we are seeing that not everybody are still reading the vacation code. So please raise your hand if you're lost with redeeming your code, with creating your group. Please let us know so we can help you here and so you can move forward and run through all the instructions. Okay, I'll start to go through the instructions. Maybe. And John will answer to you as well during the during in the next couple of seconds. So yeah, let's before I go in the instruction, let's start with a quick poll. I would like to know how you feel so far because I see only one people has closed the exercise 2, by the way, and nobody has yet closed the exercise 1. So please answer to this poll so we can help you. Okay, I see many questions popping up. Please use the Q&A button rather than asking in the chat. It helps us to keep track of things, what has been answered, what has not been answered. So yeah, please use the Q&A rather than the chat to ask your questions. I'm seeing that many people feel that we are going just the right pace, so I'm really glad about that. And one is saying, help, where am I? So please raise your hand, ask questions, and we'll help you, and so you won't get lost. Okay, I'm leaving the poll if you need to answer. Oh, well, I think we can close it. And I'll go through the instructions right now. So you'll see it live. Okay. Here are the instructions, as I said, it's on the left side of my screen. All right. Step 0 instruction prep. The issue provides the hands-on instruction for part 1. To start, please click assign yourself. All right, I will do that. Where am I? Here, plan issues. Exercise 1. Assign yourself, assignment, assign yourself. All right. On the right side, you have everything to manage your issues, labels and epics and so on and so forth. All right. So I'm assigning myself to the issue. All right. Step 1, create a new subgroup. So I'm here in my subgroup here, and I want to create a new subgroup. The subgroup name will be Country Racing Group. Copy and pasting. I'm lazy. Okay, I'm leaving everything else at default, and I'm creating the subgroup. Then I will import the project. I will click create new project, import project, repository by URL, and paste that URL. Okay, let's do that. New project, import project, repository by URL. Click on that. I don't need anything else. All settings as is, and create project. All right, it's in progress. At every stage, we have given you the docs for setting up your, for understanding what we are doing. It will be through all the instructions. So please feel free to read the docs at any stage. Well, one thing very important: we are listening to our customers. We are listening to our prospects. So please feel free to share with us any problem you have with the documentation. It might have a problem, a typo or whatever. It might not be clear. So please share that with us if you need, and so we can improve that. It's true today. It will be still true in 1 month, 1 year, and so on. So yeah, please really feel free to share with us any problem, any trouble you have, and so we can improve ourselves. We are open source, so we are here to improve, and you can even provide the improvement yourself. We are open source. Okay, step 3, planning with GitLab Duo Chat. Once your project has been imported, you may have a number of questions about how to get started. GitLab newest AI feature, GitLab Duo Chat, can help you answer those and more. So GitLab Duo Chat is accessible through this button on the top right corner. All right, you can click on it and then ask questions. Oh, sorry, let me clear that. Mine is all right. You have some default questions to get you started, or you can type whatever you want. For example, these specific questions: where can I see my project's issues? And you will have answers. One thing to keep in mind here is that we are selecting the right LLM. We are using the right LLM. This is totally transparent for you, but we have many different LLMs beside our AI features, and every one of them is the best one for every single feature that we are delivering. So here, when you're asking the chat, it's targeting the right LLM trained with our documentation. So you've got the most accurate answer that you're looking for. Okay. Please feel free to ask whatever you want to Duo Chat. It's really here to help you, and you can pop it whenever you want, just using this button. Step 4, create at least 4 labels. This is what we're going to do, and we'll go deeper with the labels later. So the label management is done from the left-hand side, all right? Manage labels, all right? Left menu, manage labels. And from there, we'll create a set of new labels. P1, I will have P1 red. I will have a new label named P2. All right, P2 is green. All right. And then I will have 2 scoped labels. And you will see when I'm creating a new label here, you've got this hint here, use : to create a scoped label. So this is what we are going to do here. Workflow : planning. This is a scoped label. So the planning is, say, blue. All right. And the review is purple. Okay, deep violet. Great. All right, so I've created all of my labels on top of the existing ones. All right, P1, P2, workflow planning, workflow review. All good. And so let me see if your question has been answered, John. Not yet, so let me tell that to you. When you're creating labels, they are inherited from your groups to your subgroups. I think you've made a mistake here, John, when creating the labels associated. We are associating the labels at the group level or at the project level, but not at the issue level. We can assign a label to an issue or an epic, but we are not creating labels in an epic. We are creating labels in a group or in a subgroup. And then they are inherited from the top to the bottom, but not the other way. So if you create a label at your project level, it will not be visible at your group level. So if you want to share the same label across different groups or different projects, you must create it at the top level. At the top level. All right. And then if you create similar label in the down levels, I would say in the lower levels, you will just have another label with the same name. All right. Let me share that with you. I've done it here. This is in my personal group. I've got 2 labels named XYZ. All right, and I can see here where the label has been defined. This label is coming from the top level group, and this label is coming from a lower group, so from a subgroup. Okay, but there is no restrictions here. You can define and have your own set of labels. The idea here is really to leave it to all the organization, all the business units, all the teams to organize the way they want to organize. And we are not enforcing a strong restriction on the teams. This is more an agile perspective with the ability for everyone to do what they really want to do, what they need to do, rather than having a strong enforcement from the top level. Okay. So once I've explained that, we have created all the labels from the step 4. Let's move on to step 5, create a new board. So we'll still use the left navigation, and we'll go to plan issue boards here, okay, to create a new board. And I will click on create a new board from the drop-down menu, sorry. This drop-down menu, we've got development here, and I will create a new board. Okay, and here, what do I want to do? I want to have this title, team scoped board. Okay, ensure the show open and show closed are selected, and then click create board. You can come back later and expand here to see what you can do with the scopes. We'll stay focused right now. All right. So I've got my team scoped board with the open and closed swim lanes, I would say. And now I will enhance that board, creating new things. Okay, I will click here. Sorry, let me squash that and have it larger. All right, so you see the new list button. I'm clicking on that new list button, and I'm selecting the label, and the label I want to use are the workflow. So I'm looking for workflow planning, add to board. I'm creating a new list, label, workflow, workflow review. All right, I'm adding it to board. Okay, so right now I've got a board. Let me show this very large. Okay, I've got my board with open, workflow planning, workflow review, and closed. Okay. All right, this should be good. Okay, and now I've got all of these. If as we add issues in the future, they contain scope label, they will automatically appear in this label board. Right now, we don't have anything with these labels. Okay. Step 6, create a project milestone. Navigate to plan milestones, still in the left menu, right? Plan milestones. Okay. And I will click on new milestone. As I said, a milestone are basically release versions or release versions that you wanna share. And so that one will be named Tanuki Racing Migration Milestone. Okay, the start date will be today, and we are October 2nd. The due date will be in a week, so October the 9th. I won't add any description. I don't need anything right now. I will just click create milestone. So this is my very first milestone. Great. And I will also create issues. So it's still in the left menu, plan issues. All right. And I will click new issue. So you see a pattern here. Left menu, plan. I'm doing planning, so I'm in the plan section. And then I've got always this blue button to create new things. Okay, that first issue will be named enable GitLab, whatever. Okay, and in the description area, something very important here for the AI, I want to be in the plain text editing mode. You can switch from both editing mode using this gray button here. So here I'm in plain text editing mode. I can go to rich text. Rich text, you will see different buttons and different behavior for your checkbox. What you want to do is really to be in the plain text editing mode. Okay. And here, if you are in plain text editing mode, you've got this little Tanuki button here. Okay, this is our icon with the 2 stars here. This is associated to GitLab Duo and our AI feature. Okay, click on that one, generate issue description, and we'll just copy paste that because I'm lazy. All right, and I will submit that. And here it will create for me an issue, and it will automatically populate it. All right, you can switch, you can click the preview if you want to see how it appears. All right, I've got title, description, and a few bullet points. The AI is not predictive, so you may have a different result. Okay, so don't worry about that. This is expected, I would say, when you are using AI. Here, the idea is really we are going to use AI to accelerate our software development lifecycle. Our developers are going to be much more efficient and deliver faster software. They are going to deliver faster just because they are able to generate the code, generate the test, and so on and so forth. But if your project manager, if you as a project manager, as a product owner are not able to feed them, they will just waste. They will just wait, sorry. So you will have a bottleneck just because you are not able to deliver fast enough. So here the idea with GitLab is to really help everybody in the software development lifecycle to go faster. So you are really delivering software faster and you are not just generating more code and having your developer waiting. Okay, the same stands for security and so on, and the ops. We'll see that in another workshop. Okay, I've got my new issue created here. Feel free to do whatever you want with these different values here. What we do here for the workshop is to create an issue without assigning it to anyone. We'll do that later. But as you can see, these are very standard fields, I would say. You are defining a weight, you're defining a due date, you are assigning it to an iteration. We talked about iteration earlier, and so on and so forth, the milestone, all these things. Right now, we leave that free or clean, and we're just creating an issue. Oh, sorry. Click submit. Yeah. Oh no, it was the submit for the AI. Sorry about that. So I'm back here. So yeah, on this screen, I will assign to myself. What else should I do? Assign the milestones here to Tanuki Racing. Assign the label to P2. Priority 2. Sorry about that. I'm giving it a weight. Where is the weight here? Say 2, a due date next week. Say on Monday, and everything else as is. All right. So as you can see, I have not set up properly my issue initially. I can always, of course, edit it from the right menu. Okay. So we'll create a second issue. Let's do that. Review and test, blah, blah. Back to my issues. So as you can see, I can navigate through the breadcrumbs if I don't want to navigate through the left menu. And I will create a new issue here. Review. I will copy paste the prompt for my AI here. All right. I'm submitting the prompts. Okay, here is the definition created by AI. I will still assign it to me. I will assign the workflow, the labels, sorry, the label workflow review. Okay, the weight will be 1. Okay, due date still next week, Monday also. And everything else is okay. Creating issue. Okay, and we will create a third issue. Going back to issues. New issue, and so we'll see now the quick actions. This issue will be named Add SAS Scanner. All right. I will use here the description. I will use a template for the description. So we can generate things with the AI to go fast, but you can also have defaults that you want to implement in your company. And this default might be defined as templates that you can find here in your descriptions. So here we've defined one template. You can define as many as you want. So your own for your own company, and maybe you have some set of issues that you want to go through a very specific workflow, specific descriptions, and you can define this description, and you can even fill the descriptions once they are set up with the AI. Okay, I will just use that workshop template here.
Olivier, maybe point out again the duo icon there for generating descriptions for those who have missed it. So this is where you can press and use the AI to populate the description and other fields on the issue.
Exactly, that little 10 key icon here with the label GitLab Duo. Thank you, Daniel. Thank you very much. Once you've clicked on it, generate issue description. You write any prompt that makes sense for you, and you submit, and it will generate the description for you. All right. Thank you, Daniel. And so here I'm using a template. As I said, in description, I selected the template workshop template for this third issue. And so here is the template, and what you are seeing here are all these quick actions here. And all these quick actions, we have many, many other quick actions, but they are doing things for you, so you don't have to do them directly here. So this makes a lot of sense, especially in a template, because I want to have my template, and I want to make sure that every issue created with this template is assigned this specific label, this specific weight, this specific due date. And I'm saying in 5 days, not at a given date, but in 5 days, I know I will always give my developer 5 days to go and do this issue. And same for the assignment. I can set any assignment using the key. So I can assign it to myself. And if you want to assign to yourself, you can even use the me keyword, and it will assign to me. Okay. And when you are creating the issue, you will see that the issue has been created. Let me unfold that. It has been assigned to me. It has been assigned label P2. It is associated to the right milestone, the right weight, the right due date, and so on and so forth. All right. So all these quick actions work either when you're creating things, or they can even work in the activity here. I can type / and then I will have all my quick actions available here. And so I can do whatever makes sense for me. Okay, I can promote to an incident, I close the issue, I can change the title, and so on and so forth. As you can see, we have a lot of quick actions. Okay, and if you look at the very bottom, we also have, of course, relationships that you can set from one issue to another one. This one is blocked by, or is blocking another one, or is related to another one, and so on and so forth. Okay, this can be done through quick actions, or through the different fields that you can see in the UI. Okay, I've got a linked item, I've got child item, and all these things. Okay. And once again, you've got the documentation here in your instructions. Okay, let's go back to our board, the step 6. So I'm going to my left menu, issue board. I'm switching to my board, team scoped board here. And as you can see, I've got I've assigned the workflow review to one of my issues. So it's here in my board, obviously. And I can drag and drop any issue here. And if I look at my issue, now it is assigned the label workflow planning. Okay, because I moved it in the right column. Of course, we do not repeat here the label workflow planning because it's already in the column workflow planning. Okay, and if I'm dragging it to workflow review right now, you will see that here the workflow has changed. This is the scope label. We can only have one label at a given time for a given scope. Okay, so workflow is either review or planning, but it can't be both simultaneously. Okay, which makes sense for workflow, obviously. Okay, I will drag it to close. Okay, and what's happening if I'm closing it? Okay, because I'm on a workflow board, I've lost this scope label. Okay, the label has been removed. Okay, and before we move on, let's go back and I will add it to the workflow planning. Okay, we are good to go. Sorry about that. All right, let me. All right, I've got all the screens set up correctly. So now let's move to the step 9, review product milestone charts. Left menu, plan, milestones. Come on. What did I do? Plan milestones. Okay, I will click on my first and only milestone right now. And you will see a burn down chart and burn up chart. Of course, I started to work a couple of minutes ago, so I don't have any relevant data here, but it will be populated all over the time. And you will see something that is relevant and which shows your progress. Okay. You also have the list of issues associated to this specific milestone. We have added 2 issues, so I know that I've got 2 ongoing because they are open and assigned here, and the add SaaS and the enable GitLab Auto DevOps. Okay, so I think we are good to go now, and I will close this issue, the issue I was working on. So this is the issue number 1, and I will just close it. I'm scrolling up, and I will close issue. All right, organize, track work. I'm closing it. I'm done with issue number 1. So here in my board, normally I should not see exercise number 1 anymore in the open. It has switched to the closed state. All right, so we are good to go, and we can move forward to the next instruction set. Plan and portfolio release. All good. So now we have organized, track, and defined the work. Let's do a little bit of planning. All right, we have some issues added, and we want to split them into some epics. Let's create the epics and get familiar with this concern and learn all security and safety about the security and safety capabilities. Okay, as a reminder, I said we've got epics, which are long-term views, and then we've got sub-epics or child epics, which are breakdown of this epic, and then we've got issues which are breakdown. I would say the minimum viable product or minimum viable iteration of an epic, which are the issues. So any issue or sub any epic or sub epic can be broken down in different issues. Okay, we have added a hard limit at 7 nested level for the child epics. Past that, our customers are usually lost. So having this hard limit and force you to think about your organization and eventually reorganize things so they are more clear and everyone can understand what they are doing. Okay, we have also talked about the roadmap. I said this is a timeline or a Gantt chart where you will see all your epics. This is the view you can have, and the different dates. You can have you can have update, fixed date, or you can have inherited them. I said your epics does not really need to have a date, but if you are having dates on your roadmap, you will inherit your dates from your roadmap, might be your milestone or whatever, and you can have inheritance. Okay, we'll go through that in minutes. All right, and well, in a minute, in seconds, I would say. Here is the second set of instructions. Number 2, plan portfolio release. We'll go through these and then we'll have a little break so we can breathe a little bit. Okay, let's move on. Sorry, not the break yet. Let's move on to the instruction set. I'll give you a few minutes to run through them. I will just display them as well so it makes sense for you. Here they are. Okay, same, they all start with the same step 0. Assign the issue to yourself and they all end with the same step, close the issue. So I can have track of what you're doing. Okay, and then the real work start with step 1, create an epic. I leave it to you. Okay, because these are very short instructions, I will go through them right now. So as usual, I said, step 0 is to assign the issue to myself. So I'm unfolding the right menu and I'm assigning myself. Or I could, if I don't want to click on that, can edit, of course, and find myself. Or I could do through the activity, assign me. All right, and comment. All right, this is applying command, as you can see, and the command has been understood. And so right now I'm assigned to the issue. All right, this is one of the way to assign yourself to an issue. All right, step 1, create an epic. First, make sure you have navigated to your Tanuki rating group. So my Tanuki rating group is here, as you can see. All right. All right, Tanuki rating group. You can use the breadcrumbs and so on and so forth. Okay. Navigate to plan epics. We are still planning, so left menu, plan epics. And here we are going to create a new epic and assign it the title first GitLab epic. So I'm copying that. I'm clicking the new epic button. I'm assigning it the title first GitLab epic. The start date will be today. 7. Okay, the due date is in a week. All right, I leave it blue and everything is okay for me. I'm creating the epic. All right, sub epic. Once I'm in that epic, I can go to child issues and epic. All right, and click the add button here. Add a new epic. Okay, and this new epic will be test security epic. The label is here, the title, sorry, is here. And I'm creating the group. I'm still working in this group. I don't want to change the group right now. Okay, so I've got a new epic right now. And as you can see, this is the color code. Everything that is green is still in progress. Everything that is blue is done. Okay, we'll see that later. Okay. All right. I see a question in exercise. Do my test security epic? Yes, as no time bounds. How to update them? That's a good question. It's not in the different steps. You just need to click on your epic here. And once you're in your sub epic, you can unfold the right menu here and either set a fixed date or inherit them. All right. And so you can edit that if you want to have a fixed date and set whatever you want. I'm not going to update that. I will leave it as it is, but you just need to enter your epic and then edit it. Okay. And so back to my instruction, step 3, assign an issue to each sub-epic. So click into test security epic. This is where I'm coming from, by the way. Add in the child issues and epics section, click add an existing issue. So add an existing issue here. And so either you are copy pasting an issue, so you just take the issue URL here, or since we are working in GitLab, you can simply use hashtag, and the hashtag will list all the issues that are in the same group or same project for you here. So here we want to add the issue, add source scanner to this epic. I will add that. And oops, I forgot the part of the step 2. I needed to create another sub epic. Sorry about that. Step 6. I've been lost by the question. Sorry about that. So I'm going back to the epics here. The first GitLab epic, I needed to create another epic, another sub epic. So add a new epic named test CI/CD. All right. So I've got 2 sub epics for my main epic. And in step 3, I will assign an issue to each sub epic. So it's already done for the test here. Test sub epic, you see different logos for epics and for issues. And in this test CI/CD, I will add an issue, add an existing issue, and the existing issue is, I assume it's review, no, enable GitLab Auto DevOps. All right. Okay, so I've added my 2 issues to my 2 sub-epics. Okay, and now I can go to the plan roadmap. Okay, I can expand my first epic here, all right, and see my 2 sub-epics here with everything. Well, right now the due date and everything is inherited, but as you can see, you've got your first Gantt chart generated by GitLab. Okay, as you can see, you've got here the completion, and so the bar here will progress also, so you can know exactly where you are, where you stand, and if you are at risk or not. Okay, and so this is all what we want to do in this instruction set. So I'll come back to my instructions and I will close my issue. All right, and now I'll give you a 5-minute break. Let's open that and go on. All right, let's come back here in 5 minutes, have a break, have a coffee, a tea, whatever, and see you. Bye. Here we are. Time's up. All right. Just for the sake of sharing that, let's see a development board. All right. Welcome back, everybody. I hope you've got coffee, tea, whatever, everything you need, so you're ready for the last laps of this race and go till the end. All right. Here is my view. I've got some more right on top of yours, and so I can see all exercise and everything. And as I said, labels are very powerful. For example, I can here in my board filter on labels, basically exercise 2 if I want, and look for that. And so I can see that I've got 10 people who have closed the exercise 2, and well, 15 who have not yet closed the exercise 2. All right. So yeah, it's a very powerful view and powerful tool to help you view what you're doing. I only have open and closed here because we don't have other steps, but it's a very nice way to see and track things going through your boards. So it might be really, really powerful for you. All right, let's go back to the instructions. The developer flow. Next lap. The last 2 laps for us. So your team has done work on some issues and pushed over some MRs. To coordinate that work, you'll need to read the existing merge requests and issues, then modify README in order to reflect the work of the development team. Okay. Luckily, GitLab is here to help you. All right. GitLab is not a tool dedicated only for developers. It's really here to help everybody work together on the same platform. So we'll see how we can do that and how we can collaborate together on GitLab. So let's see a few things. The related merge request. This is a view of a merge request. So in that merge request, you see, of course, a title. You see a the branch name, and so this merge request is going from this branch IW feedback changes into the main branch. All right. You can see who's the reviewer. So we can assign someone and ask, I say you asynchronously to say, okay, please, Jan, could you review my code? And once he has reviewed, you can check that he has reviewed the code. Okay, and once the pipeline is ready and once everything is ready to merge, I can merge. I can edit the commit code. I can ask AI to help me. I can ask AI, or Jan could ask AI to help him also on the review. And once everything is done, we can just merge. All right. We also have a built-in web IDE. I said everything is designed to help the whole team, to help everybody to work and collaborate together. So you don't have to install anything on your laptop. You can work free on GitLab, where there is the web IDE. There is also the remote environment, which helps you really set up everything you need for your project. You don't have even to install Java, Node.js, whatever, on your local machine. You could do everything remotely, fully remotely. And so your web IDE, in the web IDE, you find everything that you will usually find in an IDE. So all the features, the extensions, and all these things. All right. And obviously, it has the built-in support for GitLab Duo or AI features. And what we will work with right now is the YAML configuration. We talked about the pipeline, and so we'll work on a pipeline. Don't worry, you don't need to be a developer expert. You don't need to be a DevOps expert to understand what we are going to do. It will be really easy, but we have a built-in support for the YAML configuration to help you and do the right things, validate things, and all this. All right. So let's move on to the next instruction, the developer flow, which are the instruction number 3. I'm just seeing a question. Let's see. Oh, Nina is answering, so I'll leave it to you, Nina. I'll just display the instructions as usual. I'm on workflow number 3. As usual, the step 0 is assign yourself. Okay, and then everything really starts with step 1. We've got issues and create a merge request from the issue, prepare the review, review and merge. All right, 4 main steps. Okay, I'll leave you some time to go through this instruction, and as usual, I will go through them with you in a couple of minutes. I just would like to be sure that you are doing things at the right place. So far, we have worked a lot at the group level, my test group, whatever the idea is. All right, right now we are going to go deeper in the projects and the project that we have initially imported, if you remember in the first instruction set. So when you will be in your group here, what we want to do is to go in this dynamically racing project. Okay, this is where you want to work right now. Okay, let's move on. So I see some of you have already finished, so we should move on. Let's go back. So I said first step is to assign myself the issue, all right? And then step one, issue summary. Next part of the workshop will be back in the Tanuki Racing project originally imported. This is what I said earlier. So using the breadcrumb, go back to your group. And then if you remember well, in this group, we created a subgroup and we imported a project via the Tanuki Racing project. Okay. So this is where we want to work. My test group, whatever the ID, / Tanuki Racing group, and then the Tanuki Racing project. This is where you should be. Okay, here we are going back to our plan issues, one that we are very familiar now with. Okay, and we are going to click on enable GitLab Auto DevOps CI/CD pipeline. And we're going to add a few comments to this activity, to this issue. This is something very, very common. I could share with you, and I will share with you another one just for the sake of your information. In an ideal world, the product manager, the product owner would describe an issue and everybody will understand it like this. And no question, no negotiation, no whatever. Everybody is ready to go and start immediately. But we don't live in an ideal world, and we all know that at one stage or another, the Scrum Master, product owner, whoever, will describe an issue, user story, and someone who was assigned to the issue or someone who's not even assigned to the issue will not understand the content of that issue and will need some more details. And you will start a discussion, or maybe you will just say, okay, I have understood that, I will start doing this, and so on and so forth. And so you may have some discussions, and this discussion may spread over a very long time sometimes. I will show you an issue which has lived a long life in GitLab. All right, and so this is what's happening here in the activity. So at any stage, you can add something, checking out this issue. You can ping someone. Okay, I will ping Daniel here. Hey, Daniel, have you seen this? All right, so if I ping Daniel, he will receive a notification that is available from the left menu here in the to-do. In the to-do list is assigned a task, actually. All right, so you can do here and whatever is needed to understand things, ask help, and so on and so forth, and do your design and clarify things. So here I've added a first command. I will add a second one with Daniel, a third one here. A request from please at Nina. You will be my product manager, Nina. Please help. Okay. And Daniel is here. Perfect. So we have added some activity here. And at one stage, because this is how things happen, you have a lot of discussions and you may be lost, right? You may lost the track and you don't want to read all the activity. You may use, once again, our AI, sorry. Click on this view summary button. Once again, you will see our Tanuki logo here with the 2 little stars. This is AI powered feature. All right, click on this view summary. And in the left menu bar, you will see a summary of your content. Okay, user Daniel Bachman has seen something and so on and so forth. Okay, we've got some bullet points to clarify things. Obviously, when you have 2, 3, 4 activity here, the summary may not seem relevant, but when you have a very wider, much more activity, say this one created, it's a very old one, we did in 2011, 18, sorry. You can see here, so I've got initially a very good description, but it generated a lot of activity. Look at this, is all the activity that has happened in my issue, all right? I don't want to spend 1 hour to read all of these things, and I can just ask AI to summarize things. Yeah, so it will summarize for me, and I will see, okay, here are the 6, 7, 8 bullet points that are the most relevant, and I know exactly what's happening. It's related to another issue and so on and so forth that we've got planned for Ubuntu 20.04. I've got all the information that I need to feel confident and be ready to either interact more or start working on the issue. Okay. So know that I'm confident, I'm ready to go, and I'm ready to work on this issue. Everything is clear for me. I will scroll up and use this blue button once again. In the issue blue button, I'll click on this create merge request button, and it will bring me to the merge request view. So from there, I will see the name of the branch that has been defaulted for me in GitLab. You can set up the default. You can set up your own rules. You don't want to have one plus the or the ID of the issue plus the title. You want to have a different pattern. It's up to you. You can define your own pattern. I'm merging back to my main branch. You can also define that if you don't want to merge to main, but if you want to merge to develop and then from develop to main, it's really up to you. Okay, no problem. I'm just using defaults here. And what I'm gonna do here is I will unmark this as draft. As long as a merge request is in the draft state, you can't merge it. All right, this seems obvious, but it's written here again if you forgot what it is. And what you see here is in the description by default. Once again, you can change this default. You've got here clauses and the relation from this merge request to the issue. Okay, so at any stage, I can know exactly as a developer, can know what I have to do. All right, because I'm working on a merge request to do something. All right. You also have assignees, reviewers. Well, you can set them if you want, and you have inherited the milestones and labels from your issues. All right. Okay, I think we'll leave that as is. Under assignee, I will assign to me. Okay, and then I will just create merge requests. Okay, so now I'm ready to go. My branch has been created for me. Okay, and everything is ready here. Let's move on to the step 3, modify the pipeline. Okay, this is one of the ways to modify the pipeline. We'll see other ways, and some of them are more efficient, but this is a way, an easy modification for you using the web IDE. So let's click on code here and open the web IDE. As usual, your developers may be familiar with their own IDE. They want to use IntelliJ locally. They want to use NeoVim or whatever, or VS Code. They're free to do it. We have plugins for them. Don't worry about that. You can really set up and you can live in your own setup and import your project locally, obviously. I will do all the modification in the web IDE for the sake of the workshop because it's much easier and I'm sure you all have access to it. You don't have to set up anything locally. Okay, and what do I want to do? I will modify my pipeline definition. The pipeline definition lives in GitLab CI YAML here. So I will click on that file and I will modify the line 41 to add this after the line 41. Okay, I'm just copying that snippet of code and I'm pasting it. All right. Indentation is not good. Sorry about that. All right. Okay. So you must be indented at the same level as rules or script. All right. These are the different description definition of your job. This is a job, and this is the definition of the job. All right. And because we are doing YAML, we have indentation for the hierarchy of your own job. Okay. So right now I've added my piece of code as the script and I can commit it. I will click on the commit and use this commit message. So the commit, you have seen this purple button here or whatever, purple badge, sorry, appearing here. So this is my commit button. I will click on that. and paste this this commit message, and you click on the arrange button, commit, and push to 1. I think there is a mistake. Yeah, it's not blue, it's orange, but you have understood that. All right, so I'm clicking on that one. Okay, and once you have committed, you have been prompted to go back to your merge requests. Okay, and we can do that. I will click on go to merge request. It will open back this view that you have already seen. Okay, and then you can edit it. We'll edit this merge request, and because we have done something, we'll ask the AI to summarize what has been done. Okay, so I will just add my cursor here on top of the at the very beginning of my description, and I will ask summarize code changes to GitLab Duo. And so GitLab Duo is saying me what has been done. All right, so this is very efficient, just to be sure that what has been done is what has been requested. Okay. In a previous company, one of my colleagues used to go and, when he started to do something, he started and go his way without reading again what was requested. And sometimes he just diverged a little bit from what has been requested. So being able to review what he has done was very, very useful for him to be sure that, okay, I was supposed to do X, I finally did Y. I should change a little bit to finally do X before I asking for a review from my peers. Okay, so here I've got my summary, and I will just save that. Changes. All right, save changes button. And now I'm ready for the review.
Olivier,
yeah.
Sorry for interrupting, but I think from this screen is easier to answer a question that we have. The question is around the prefix name MR with 1, where it comes from. But I guess the prefix 1, I mean, with the number that Dimitro is referring to is actually the branch name.
The ID of the branch. Yeah, this is the ID of the branch.
The
followed
ID
by the
of the
branch,
branch, not really the MR, so the merge request.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, no. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. The number 1 is the ID. Yeah, it's the ID of the merge request. This is this ID. Yeah. So you can find it here in the URL and in the breadcrumb, of course. So we are by default creating the using this ID as a prefix. As I said, you can change it here in your project settings. I'm not doing this very often. I think it's in the merge request settings. We'll share that with you, but should be somewhere here. I can't remember. I'm not doing this every now and then. Yeah, I will find where it is and share that with you.
So by default, the merge request ID is added as a prefix to the branch name.
Exactly.
So that's okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, and so as I said, basically in my project, I've got feature / then the ID and the branch name. You may want this, or you may want whatever. You may set up this the way you want, really. Okay, we've got many different tokens that you can use with the ID of your merge request or whatever. Okay. So thank you, Nina, for interrupting. Then step 4, prepare for the review. Okay, so in my merge request, I've got 4 different tabs, as you can see. And let's go through the first one first. Okay, the overview one. If I click on the edit, I can assign a reviewer. All right, you can do it from there, or you can do it from the right menu here as well. Okay, the approval is optional here, so I don't really need to assign one, but you can do it from there. I will assign myself. I will assign myself as the reviewer. Okay, and now I will do a review. So I'm both the assignee and the reviewer, which is not the best solution, but it makes it really easier for the workshop. So I will go to the changes tab here in my merge request, and so I can see all the changes that have been done. Well, all, say the only changes that has been done here. Okay, click on the changes tab on the right tab. So the green thing is what has been added, the red one are what has been removed. Quite common, I would say. What do I need to do? Let's add, click on the changes. Click on the scroll down, what is the blue split? Click on this. Okay, I will, yeah, this is what we are looking for. So I will add here a comment. Or I can add it on a specific line or on multiple line if I want. And my comment here is this one. I want to copy paste because I'm lazy. Very efficient solution. Start a review. Okay, and from there I can click on finish review. I think this is it. Click on finish review. Okay, and here I can use the AI once again to help me. Okay, we have seen that the developer is helped to summarize what they have done. Okay, and the reviewer has helped to summarize what they have done as well. Okay, so here I can click this little tiny button with the 2 stars. I'm clicking this, and I've got a summary of what has been left. My review is very short, so not a lot to say in the summary. The most important part for me is this one, the last one actually. I estimate there is a small amount of work. So this is an estimation from the AI. Always keep in mind that the AI, like anybody, I would say, could make an error. So keep in mind that and have your own review and be mindful that AI is not perfect. Okay, but it has given you an estimation. All right, it's probably a small amount of work. And actually, I think it is a small amount of work. So tomorrow morning during your daily stand-up, you could communicate as a developer, you could communicate with your product manager, with your Scrum Master and say, okay, I only have a small amount of work to do with my review, so I can handle the next issues, the next user story I need to do. If the AI says I estimate there is a lot of work to do, maybe you will communicate with your product manager and say, okay, I'm sorry, but I've got a lot to do. I still have a lot to do. I thought yesterday I have finished my task. I asked for a review, and finally it's not finished because I have a lot to do. So I can't handle any new task today or even tomorrow. So maybe we need to get something out of the next release because I won't be able to do more. Okay, so that's a way to be proactive instead of being reactive when you're doing planning management. And anyone who's doing planning management would agree with that, I assume, because you always want to be proactive instead of being reactive. And yeah, that makes it easier here. Okay. You can see there is a couple of options you can set when you're doing a summary here of your review. We leave it as it, but just understand that you can have some comments which are blockers for your developers. Okay, you have reviewed and it's okay. My review is not a blocker, it's just a general comment, but I may have requested a change and say, okay, I don't allow you to merge until you have changed what I've reviewed. Okay, so this is what you could enforce here. Okay, to ensure a certain level of quality. Okay, so as a developer, I have asked my review. It appears as a new activity. All right, everything that is done on an issue is part of the activity. Okay, that you can summarize in one source. Well, it's an activity in my merge request here, not my issue. Sorry. Okay, and so I've got this, and I've got also on next to the changes, I've got the pipelines here, and we'll see the different pipelines. Let's click here on my pipeline, and I can click on the pipeline status, for example, or the pipeline ID here, or even on the different stages here, and I can see what has been done. And so here, if I go to the test job, I can see that I've done an echo testing here. This is what we have added. So these are the logs of my job and logs of my pipeline. Okay, so I've been here. I can look through all the logs. It's not relevant for me now, but I can just see that I've changed something and I've added a after script, which is echoing this. Testing is done. Okay, so it's working what I've done. Okay, we are good to go. Now let's go back to the merge request. Okay, and I think we can do an approval here. Acting as a reviewer, add a comment to the merge request and say your approval. Okay. I approve this merge. Perfect. This is an activity. This is logged. Keep in mind that any activity can also be streamed to a third-party tool, for example, Datadog or whatever. So if you want to have some behavior analysis and things like this, we can stream the flow of our activities to third-party tools that you may already have in your environment. Okay. And because the approval here is done, I will just click on that merge button. Okay, to complete the merge request. Okay, we are now good to go. We have confirmed that our pipeline was added. Let's go back to plan issue board. All right, plan issue board. Okay, and so I should have something closed. My enable GitLab Auto DevOps. This is the task I was working on. I have closed the merge request. It has automatically closed the issue. Okay, so in the morning, you don't need to keep track of what did I do yesterday. You can just look at your board, and your product manager, your scrum master has a clear view of what's happening, a real-time view of what's happening. Okay, Olivier has closed this because he has closed the merge request. So now the issue is closed, and in my roadmap and so on and so forth, in my rundown chart, I will see the progress of what's happening. Okay. And so we are good to go with this issue. Let's close that one. Once again, we go and close the issue. And let's move on to the final lap of our instruction set today. All right. Oh, I see many questions. Okay, this is answered. Yeah, okay. This is a general, I would say. Okay. Last lab for us is the pipeline automation. Okay. The last task we're given is to familiarize ourselves with the CI/CD capabilities of GitLab and how even product manager can help contribute. We say it and repeat it. GitLab is a single platform for everyone to contribute. Okay, this really is a single place where everyone understands, everyone talks the same language, use the same words, and everyone can really contribute. So we will use the built-in templates to write a simple pipeline as a baseline for our DevOps teams to come and improve on later. Okay, let's do something very easy, but very powerful as well. Okay, I already talked about the shift left mentality. So let's just read this quote from Chris Hill, who's the head of system engineering for infotainment at Jaguar Land Rover. You probably all know Jaguar Land Rover, the brand for automotive. Okay, and he said, he's one of our customers, of course, and he said our feedback loops were 4 to 6 weeks long. Okay, could you imagine writing code today and 6 weeks from now being told whether it's working or not? Okay, I don't remember the shirt that I wore yesterday, let alone that I don't even remember the breakfast that I had this morning. So how could I remember what I wrote 6 weeks ago? Is it true? Who remember what they did 6 weeks ago? Do you? All right, probably not. I don't. And I've been working on features for the last 6 weeks. And for me to try to unpick what I was thinking at that point could be a huge context switching penalty for sure. Why did I implement this solution? Why did I connect it to this basic database? Why did I implement this function and so on and so forth? You have forgotten this. And context switching, remembering everything is time wasting, time consuming. So if you want to deliver fast, you don't want to waste time. So shifting level and everything that you did helps you to be efficient and work on what is still fresh in your memory, fresh in your brain. Okay, so being a single DevSecOps platform, GitLab helps you to manage all your dev lifecycle and have feedback loops very short. We have seen this. You can ask for a review. You have the result of your pipeline directly here. You don't need to wait for a pipeline to run in overnight or in a week or so, and so on and so forth. And same stands for all your tests, all your security, and all things. Okay, and on top of the basic unit test, the basic security scans, I would say you can in GitLab implement all your compliance, all your regulations, and everything that is enforced at your company level. We are all in Europe here. So maybe you have EMEA and you're under GDPR. Okay, and you want to enforce GDPR and be sure that you are you're matching the regulation from GDPR, and you want to run some checks against this. Or maybe for NIS2, which is the new security set of rules coming from Europe, which will be declined at the state level. And you want to enforce that because you will need to. This is a rule, a regulation. And so you want to implement things in your pipelines to be sure that you are compliant with that. And you want to also be compliant with your specific vertical regulations. Maybe you are in the aeronautics and you need to match the DO 278 rules, or you are in the automotives and you have your very specific set of rules and so on and so forth. And so you can implement all of these and run all of them as close to the developer as possible. So when your developer is not compliant with your rules, they won't know that in 6 weeks, they will know that in 6 minutes. And so they will still have pretty fresh in their brain what they have done 6 minutes ago. Okay, and same stands for the security. Okay, I've introduced a specific OWASP 10 threat. I know it in 6 minutes, not in 6 weeks, so I can fix that. I know why I've implemented this, and I know how to fix that. Okay. So here is your pipeline, and here is how we are going to implement all these checks and adhere to all the regulations. This is very basic jobs. We have already seen that. You've got job name at the highest level, then all the definition of your job. It might be stage, image, script, after script, before script, artifact, and so on and so forth. We have tens of keywords that you can add here. But basically, the stage defines when you are going to run your job. The image is defining where you are going to run your job, and the script is defining what you are going to run in your job. Okay, so you've got job name, the stage, the image, extension. It's just a way to implement something once and reuse it. Okay, and then the before script and script, you are running them. This is a way to set up what you want to do. Okay, I want to do that first, and then this is my real job, my real script. This is my setup, and this is my real script. I can also have an after script. You have already used it. I can output things. These are my artifacts, and I can also control where I'm running it or what I want to do, and some specific triggers for my environments. Maybe I want to run this deployment only on production, and so I can enforce my separation of duties that we talked earlier. I want to enforce that only my ops team is able to deploy to environment. So I'm defining here that my environment is the production, and I'm defining the configuration to enforce security. Okay, this is how you define a pipeline and what you can do in your pipeline definition. Okay, and I said we've got stages. Stages are sequential. So you start, they run in the order they appear here. So in your pipeline definition, you've got, I've got build, test, provision, deploy, destroy. I will always run all stages in this order. And if I revert test and build, I will start with test and then run build. This is the way you define your order, and you don't need to rewrite your whole pipeline definition. You just change the order of your stages here. Okay, and you also have variables, which can be a set of other variables. You have a lot of variables predefined by GitLab that you can reuse. They all start with CI underscore something. They are all provided by GitLab. And so you can build your own variables. Here we are working on Terraform, because GitLab is also used to deploy infrastructure with Terraform. Is also able to handle your states, your Terraform states. So you can do all of these within GitLab. Once again, we are having everybody collaborating. The ops are working in GitLab like any developer, okay, and like the security as well. And so you can define your variables. They can be defined at different levels for your instance, for your group, for your project, and even for your jobs. So you will define them where they are relevant. Okay, and what we are going to do now is that when you're defining a pipeline, you can also include blocks. You can include other pipeline definitions. So what you have seen right now, you have seen a job definition. This job can be included in a template. You don't have to change a single line of your job. Okay, so this is the same grammar. You're doing the exact same definition of your job, if it's a template or a regular pipeline. And then you can include in a pipeline another block, and in a block you can include another one, and so on and so forth. So you can nest different templates and include them together. So you can, at a group level, at a business unit level, define your own blocks. And so I am running Java, and I want to define how to build Java application. I am doing Docker and Kubernetes. I want to define how to build and deploy Docker images, and so on and so forth. So you really can build things and share them for reusing. Okay. And so here you can see a full pipeline. The full pipeline is defined here. Yeah, I know it's very, very light. Yes, because at GitLab, we are providing everything you need to be very efficient and go really, really fast. What makes sense for you to deliver your application, not to build pipeline, but delivering application, secured application fast is what makes sense to you and to your business. So we are providing you a set of templates. You can, of course, re-implement them. You can, of course, customize them, but by default, they're working and you can reuse them as is. And so the master template, I would say, is the auto DevOps. And so if you include this template, it will automatically for you build, test, run all the security scanners, and the deployment. You can do canary deployment and all these things. The staging, the reviews environment, which are built for you and deployed for you automatically. Okay. And what you see on the left side is everything that is included by this master template. So we've got the master template, Auto DevOps, which itself includes a set of other templates, and all these templates are these jobs and security templates that you see on the left. Okay. We'll see them in a bit. Okay, here is the result of our master templates. I've just added this one, Auto DevOps, and here is the result that I'm running the pipeline. I'm building, testing. In the test stage, we are including the unit test, the quality, and everything else is related to security. Okay, we are detecting secrets. If by mistake your developer has committed their AWS key, or they have committed their GitLab token or whatever, it will be detected. It can even be revoked for you automatically. And so there is no risk of leak. Okay, we are running all the SAS scanners, so we are analyzing the code that has been written by the developer, and we are only showing the result for the difference. So what has really been written by the developer in this specific merge request. We are not showing you a bunch of hundreds or thousands of threads, and the developer has to find the one that are relevant to them. No, they can be really focused on what they have done and be really, really efficient in fixing their new security threats. We're also analyzing the dependencies and the scanners as well to identify any problem that may happen. And later on, once you're in production, because we know the dependencies that you have, we have what we call the continuous scanning. So in 10 months, a new security threat will be identified on one of the pipelines that you are using. It will be identified, and automatically you will see it in your security reports without needing to run a new pipeline, thanks to Gymnasium dependency scanning. Okay, and then we have the dynamic scanning running here in a specific environment, staging and production, and as you can see, we can roll out progressively. Okay, so this is what's going on, and well, same view globally. Just here, these are manual. You can set it manual or automatic. In this view, the rollout to production is manual, and we haven't forced only the ops team to be able to run that. So if you're not part of the role of the ops team, you just won't be able to click on this little play button. Okay, so you won't be able to impact the production. We have full control on that. Okay, another thing here, as you have seen, maybe in the different jobs and templates that are included with Auto DevOps, we are totally vendor agnostic. We are able to deploy to any Kubernetes, any cloud provider. So it might be EKS, GKE, whatever, Azure, Google, AWS, OpenShift, of course, or even VMs. You want to deploy to VMware, we integrate very well with VMware as well, and any VM. So you are targeting your deployment with Terraform, Ansible, whatever, and it's working. And you can do GitOps with GitLab, so to automatically update your deployment based on what's happening in your source code management. Okay. It's time to start the next and last instruction sets. And I've got a few questions. I'll read them and see if I can answer during the instructions and while you're running the instructions. Come on. As usual, I will set the instruction on the screen here. You can read them. First step is to assign yourself. Okay. And then enjoy with the next steps. And I'm taking the question. Okay, I've got a question, so I'm just sharing it with you. I've got a question regarding the ability for an MR to run against several branches. We don't support that. It's really messy, I would say, and it's really hard to merge several branches in one. So we have different solutions for this, but every single merge request is from one branch to another one, a source and a destination. Okay, but if you have several branches that you want to release together, so I said earlier, I want to develop the UI, I want to develop the test, well, I want to release the test, I want to deploy the UI, I want to deploy the backend. Okay, so these are two branches for me, and I want to release them together because they make sense together. I can create what we call a merge train. and link these two merge together. And so if I have approved both merge requests, they will be delivered together, they will run together, and I will merge them together in the main branch. Okay, so this is my merge train, but I'm not handling several branches in a single merge. It will be messy, really messy. So we have many different merge requests, and we can group them together in a merge train. Okay, I see some progress in my board. So I will start to read the instruction with you. These last instructions. Okay, maybe before I start with this instruction, I want to answer a very interesting question that we've got regarding Confluence and Jira integration. So just to recap things regarding Jira and Confluence. These are very popular tools that you probably already know. So we integrate very well, I would say, with Jira. So if you want to still use Jira, you can use Jira and then have all your project management, your merge request in GitLab. We've got plugins which will synchronize your what's happening in GitLab and what's happening in Jira. So when you close your issue in GitLab, basically it will automatically update the one in Jira. So that's from an integration perspective. But for all the reasons that I said at the very beginning of this workshop, maintaining many different tools may cost you a lot of money because you have many different licenses, but also because you have to maintain the integration between the different tools, because you have to maintain the tools themselves. And of course, it's longer and more expensive to maintain 10 tools rather than maintaining only one. That is really obvious. So if you want to get rid of Jira, you may wonder, we have seen with the issue board, epics, and all these things, we have seen how to do that. But you may wonder about Confluence and the integration you've got from Confluence to Jira. So Confluence is basically your document management, and we handle that either with the issues themselves, because we really think that everything related to an issue, either it is a change request, a security, or a user story, say, it should live within the issue itself. So you can document your issue, you can attach things, and so on and so forth. You can attach design to your issue. Look here, we've got the ability to attach things, so you don't need to have a separate tool to all your designs and all these things. Really, everything can live in the issue. So the issue is sufficient. Okay, you don't need more than the issue. But if you need to have some documentations to explain how you are organizing your groups or you're organizing things and so on and so forth, you can use the wiki here. So the wiki is basically here. Well, you know the name actually. So it is a wiki, and so you can define anything you need. You can have all your organization, all your documentation in your wikis if it's relevant to you, and so it's totally linked to your project, and so yeah, everything you need for your project might be documented in your wiki. There's a direct relationship from your source code and your project to your wiki. Okay, and because we are GitLab, because we handle source code and we know how to do versioning, your wiki, of course, is versioned, and so you can roll back at any stage and you can find what you have deleted 1 week ago by mistake. It's really easy to roll back and find all these things, because yeah, we do that. This is the genesis of GitLab, I would say, to handle source code management and changes over time. Okay, let's go through the insertion in this pipeline automation, these 4 steps of our race today. I have already assigned the issue to myself. You can see it here. And I will go with the step 1. As usual, I've got it on the left. Once again, we want to go back to our Tanuki Racing project. So this is the Tanuki Racing project. I can see it in my breadcrumb. Okay. Once again, remember, you can go to My Test Group. From My Test Group, you unfold the subgroup Tanuki Racing group, and then you can go to the Tanuki Racing project. Okay, here we are. In the previous step, we made some small changes to our pipeline, and maybe at one stage you get lost. You have seen me. I've changed the indentation because we are in YAML. It is not very efficient. Let's be honest. It's very efficient for source code because this is the way we do source code, but for a pipeline definition, there is something better. And this is what we're gonna see now, the pipeline editor. Here in the left menu, we can go to the build section now and click on the pipeline editor. Okay, and so here in my pipeline editor, I will see again my pipeline. Remember, line 41, I've included that after script. Okay, I see everything. This seems very similar to what I did previously. And you're right, but we've got 3 other tabs here, which will help me to be much more efficient. And also, I've got all the completion that is provided to me here out of the box. So basically, let's do what it says here. I will remove the build online 15 here. Okay, that stage, come on, stage build, I'm removing it. Okay, and now, well, I can see that there is a problem here, and it already says me that the chosen stage does not exist. And I can go here to my validate tab and click on validate pipeline to have some more information. Well, here the information provided is the same, roughly the same as the one that is written here above. Okay, so I know that I've got a problem and I know how to fix that. I only have 3 different stages existing. I should use one of them or define another stage. Okay, so I will go back here and add again my build. Okay, and as I said, you've got all the keywords that are provided to you. So if I start typing something, the GitLab UI offers me to complete with the appropriate keyword, the ones that are available at that given level. Okay, in my pipeline definition. So that makes also it very efficient and very, your developers or your DevOps team will be very fast in deploying and developing their own pipeline. And error proof. Okay, so the validation tool has identified the issue we listed and we know what happened. Okay.